Hey, good morning and welcome to another community live stream. My name is Chuck Tomasi from ServiceNow, and I am here to share with you some of the things we find on the community. That is not the page that I wanted to show in my background, but it'll work. It's part of the community. I'll get to that in just a minute. Right now, I wanted to just let you know that this is the show for January 5th. I gotta look at the screen sometimes to tell me what's going on. And I will be using a developer instance, free personal developer instance, which you can get for your very own over at developer.servicenow.com. You can also find all of our APIs, learning paths, links to group meetups. That's not the developer site. Let's bring that up. As well put on the screen what I'm talking about. Big white blank screen behind me. There we go. We are giving this a bit of a reface in the future, so look forward to that as well. I also wanted to call out, since I was just talking about the community, if you are watching this live on the live stream, welcome. Give me a high five. I'll give you a shout out on the back. And where's my, there, developer. No, we did that developer. We want community. I need to color code these really badly. I'm spending too much time reading what the numbers on the keys are. Community looks like this. If you have a question you want it answered, we want to attempt to answer it live, or you have a question any other time of the day or night, post it on community.servicenow.com and we will get that answered there. I also want to point out that that's what I was looking at when I first started up the show. If you go to the community and look for Tech Now episode list, you will get this wonderful list of all the things we've done for the last 5 years, and for the first time ever, posted into the future. I have got episodes 46 through 53 posted. That takes us up to June when we get to London features. So take a glance, see what's coming up, see what interests you. I've even got a few of the quick tips and the content that we'll be presenting live at CreatorCon is coming up. Still working on the details of that application that we will be building. We will do this in 3 parts. Look forward to seeing you there. If you are not familiar with CreatorCon or Knowledge, that's my next button. That's it. I'm getting the markers right after this show. Here. New reminder. Color code Wirecast buttons. Now I don't have to remember that again. Otherwise I'll forget until I sit down here again tomorrow. Action captured. Knowledge is our conference, big user conference every year that we have. This year it is in Las Vegas at May 7th through 10th. Sorry, my brain just went out the room, quite literally, because I remembered I'm not wearing my watch and at 6:30 my alarm will go off. So that'll be interesting. And it's sitting on a table, it's going to go. Another story for another time. This is as close as you get to having me in your office, and this is the kind of banter that we will have back and forth. This is not scripted, this is not formal, this is completely ad hoc, and I am trying to remember everything I want to tell you. If you are going to Knowledge, make sure you check that box that says CreatorCon, so that it puts an endorsement or an entitlement, or whatever it is on your badge, so that you can get into the CreatorCon sessions. I was just talking with Jason McKee yesterday. Been a crazy long week. Lots of actions happening. Just talking to Jason McKee. Jason is in our team, and he is the one who puts together all the sessions, all the speaker sessions for CreatorCon. And we were talking about one of the labs that I will be doing around Amazon Web Services, IoT, and some pretty cool stuff involving little gizmos like this. You may have seen that on Live Coding Happy Hour when I started putting that together. We're going to let you build an integration that talks to different stuff with that button. So check the checkbox for CreatorCon is the summary of that whole story. Enough of this. Let's get on with the real stuff. And if I can't remember anything else that I need to say when I get back, I will just throw it in as we go. I am going to start a little differently today. Normally I start with anything that's unanswered or opened and then go to the inbox. Okay, that's a good way to start. I was thinking about, let's change it up a little bit and start with the inbox, but let's give a quick glance through here and see what I may have missed. Styling custom text area form field. Let's see what that's about. Posted really recently. Scroll that up so we can all see it. Not hiding behind your launch spot stuff at the bottom. We have a text area field we have set up in our incident form, and I'm trying to apply height and overflow scroll styles. I'm using configure styles and client scripts using jQuery and get element by ID, but this is not working for these particular styles. It seems these styles are being applied, but then overwritten by other default style behaviors set by our system. Has anyone encountered this issue? What is the workaround? I'm going to have to make a macro that just says, be careful. When you use things like get element ID, what is the business requirement behind this? It's the question of, does the business requirement outweigh the need for customization? And this is a dangerous customization. Boy, I wish I could find that thing that I wrote yesterday. It was in Evernote, wasn't it? But I think I deleted it. Rats. Maybe it's in the Evernote trash. Hold on. I just discovered that Evernote has a trash. It had like 6,000 messages in there. Sure enough, there it is. Let's move that back to restore selected note, restore note to notebook, and theoretically, which can often be crossed out for not really. Go to Evernote. Am I still logged in? You are already logged in. Open Evernote. Sorry for the tiny, tiny font. It's a big, big screen. That's why it looks tiny, tiny on your screen. Good morning to you. If you're just joining us on the live stream, thank you for watching. Waiting for Evernote to come up so I can copy and paste this very common thing that I say a lot. Whoopsie, didn't want to show that on the screen. Let's often do that on second screen. That's for a demo that I'm working on for our CreatorCon. The meeting note. Where is it? I'm in notes. I want notebooks. There we are. Notebooks, inbox, and oh, come on, where'd it go? There we are. Hide reference icon. This may need a little doctoring. Let's see. Hi, Rhiannon. All right. A-N-N-O-N-E. Love the spelling. Paste that in and see what we got. As you are already here. Well, I have not. Well, I don't have a direct answer for this. I recommend you speak with the party that made this requirement and understand the following and help them understand the following. Features not provided out of the box. There are currently no known configuration to make this behave this way. It requires custom code. The meaning this is something someone needs to build, document, test, and maintain. This customization violates best practices when you employ things like get element by ID, i.e. DOM manipulation, and it puts you at risk for future upgrades. If they accept these risks and costs, then you have the option of implementing it. Just sure to document it. Okay. Next, that's going to be a macro. Reporting color variation. This should probably go in reporting. Remember, I'm going to state this again, every day. If you are posting into the community, be sure that you pick the correct space so that you get the correct audience. If you put a question for reporting into the developer community, you're going to be talking to developers. Developers may not know all there is to know. They don't have the in-depth knowledge about reporting and analytics. Do we have any functionality to change the color codes on the pattern? Suppose I need green for color for approval. How do I do that? Yes, there are reporting colors. And if I look in the docs, report colors. Chart colors. Close enough. Get that. Post that. And Rishi, take a look at community seems to be behaving itself today. Links are automatically self-titling. It's a good day. It's a good day. It's Friday. Hope that your Friday is going well and that you've got a wonderful weekend planned. PowerShell script. Usually should be an orchestration in the ITOM area. How can I use ServiceNow like a file server? Wasn't that posted yesterday? That subject sounds very familiar. How to make a custom workflow activity use specific mid-server agent. Filter list where created by is a member of the assignment group. Robert's on top of that. Robert is awake and alive and going at it. Good for him. Robert is one of our top contributors to the community. Show attachment icon while editing the request in the cart. Attachment icon is available for a record. If you're looking at the request in the cart, if you're looking at the cart, you're on a UI page. You're not looking at a specific record. Need to add path as hyperlink in workflow notification. Add path as hyperlink. Take a look at that one when we get a chance. Portal Angular filter group by SSO through service portal login page. That's a good question. My time worked field is not edited. Problem with field value. Okay, let's start with that. I'm also going to go to the inbox. It's a little fuller than I start on most days, so let's jump in there. There's some good responses. Incorrect value passing from script include to client script. Oh, good, this got answered. This was a response yesterday. They were looking for doing a Glide Ajax call, and in the call they have their callback, and he's trying to pass in multiple things. And my response yesterday, if you watched, was to pass this with a JSON payload. You can put any type of object in the response and encode it or stringify it as a JSON payload, and then on the client side, parse it to put it back to an object. So that's what I did, and he marked that correct. So the short answer is, I said, here's my object, I'm calling it my answer. So if he gets a record, I'm assuming group is some sort of group record, and he wants the display value of the group and the priority of the record, something like that. He already had these nailed down. I just copied them and said, here, put them into an object and then stringify the object. Then in your client script, you parse the answer out of the XML payload. That's what that line does. It's well documented if you look at the Glide Ajax page. Then parse the object out of the answer string, because the answer string is going to be curly brace, and it's just going to be a string. It's going to be non-intelligent to JavaScript until you do this parse. Now it's an object, and you can get the dotted notation of the properties in that object very easily. I assembled it together in a myString and put that into his variable, and he said, yay, that worked. I'm glad. Working fine. I did a small change. Now it's working. What did he change? Script include, stringify my answer, test result. We put a GS info in there. Actually, I can call the script include in client side and it's working fine. I want to get the same value in business rule. So please tell me how to call the same script include in business rule also. Oh, Stephen Bell from Accenture did this. Okay. To do this from a business rule, I recommend building in another tier to your structure. Instead of, right now, you have client script calls client callable script include. Okay. Instead, change it to this client script. I'm gonna get tired of typing this, so let's hope the community copy and paste is working today. If it is, I'll consider it a Christmas present. Calls, thank goodness. Client callable script include, and then that calls regular script include with logic to do your lookup and return. Then the business rule can call that third regular script include. Keeping things modular and in script includes is very helpful, but sometimes you got to break them apart to get the client callable stuff separated from the server callable stuff so that you can use that in both places. Oh, I wish I could just have transcribed that. Wouldn't that be easy? Bonus for watching. And I think, no, I don't have a reference to script includes a macro. Darn darn. If I could find the Ask the Expert, Stephen Bell, if he doesn't know where or ask for more information, I'll reference Stephen Bell. And he can point them to the right place. And he'll get marked helpful. Connection update, yes, I'll take that. And there was a response that I made earlier today. Yes, there is an earlier today before this. It's crazy. This was a question about how can I get the body of an SLA warning notification related to a request? And I said that you could do the dot walking, give him a reference to dot walking. And he said, but the requirement is, or somebody else came in later. This is not the original author. Was it? No, the original author, I always got to check this. Original author was Anji and who's this? Balaji? Balu Balaji. Says, I have a requirement that whenever an SLA changes request or da 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 da, kind of coattailing on this thread. And this is a new topic. It's related to SLAs, but it is not about this thread. They're not contributing to the solution of this thread. And another community etiquette is if you have a new question, post it as a new question and post it in the right space, as I mentioned before, because that way you will get you'll get more eyeballs on it. The only people that are going to see this are the people that have responded or are following or subscribed to this discussion. That's not a lot of people. I can guarantee you, maybe only 3 people are seeing this. So I came back and said, why don't you post it as a new question? You'll get a lot more eyeballs on it and the right people in the right space, etc., etc. So helpful to him, helpful to others. And if it is answered correctly, it'll get knocked off the unanswered list. And when people go to search it, they will find that it's marked correctly, and whoever's looking for a correct answer can find it. Much, much easier. Let's go back and see if there's anything new. Look, go to knowledge. Issue making a label mandatory in service portal. A label? A label? We have upgraded Jakarta, and now we are converting from CMS to service portal. I've discovered that there is an issue with making a label mandatory in service portal. It works fine in CMS. Is anyone else having the same issue? And has anyone come up with a solution to resolve this? CMS version, service portal version. What is it? How was it built? We need a little more information. Karen, let's see if we can tease any of that out. All right, Karen, I need a little more information about what it is you're showing. about what you are showing on the screen. Is this a widget you built yourself? Can you share the widget code? What have you tried? Let's find out. We also faced the same during our CMS portal migration. This is a known issue per the knowledge base article below. Wow, very fast and very helpful. You'll have to configure catalog client scripts for your catalog item and make the label mandatory. I'd say that's very helpful. Someone can answer it without further information. Maybe I should have deleted mine. Don't know. Happy Friday. Still warm and toasty in Arizona? Yes. It's 5 degrees in New Jersey Fahrenheit. Stay warm up there. Stay warm. Stay safe. I know you just got dumped on by the bomb cyclone. We were talking a lot about that last night. I was at a social event, and we were sitting outside at night, eating our dinner and saying, gee, it's too bad about all the people that are suffering cold temperatures and snow. And most of the people around the table moved away from snowy environments. We weren't laughing at your expense. We were very sympathetic to your plight. Need to add a path as a hyperlink in a workflow notification. Need to add a share path, say some drive folder file in email notification, and should display as a hyperlink with custom name in email. Okay. Sounds like you want to use HTML in the body of the message. Something like this. A href equals file colon and it's not slashes. Aren't they backslashes for those kinds of things? Aren't those supposed to be backslashes for UNC network paths? I'll admit, my Windows networking stuff is really rusty. File, and then your path name here. Click for your file. Hopefully that won't disturb the... Nope, it didn't. Hoping it wouldn't mess up the community editor. We'll see what happens after we do the migration. Anything new while I was typing? Yes, a couple. IT service management, how to update quantity and consumables. That is related to field service management. I don't think I'm going to be able to touch that. Don't know a whole lot about field service management. My specialty is in platform and custom applications and integrations. Can we publish event/message AWS SNS from ServiceNow instance? ITOM question. Not going to get into AWS. Let's take another look through unreplied. Filter this down even further from unanswered to unreplied. And I'll get some of the same things. Not can ServiceNow be used as a service portal? SSO, we looked at that earlier. Good morning to you. Stay warm, all you people in the Northeast and Midwest. My time worked field is not adding values. Multiple tasks getting generated in workflow. Maybe. How to include system-generated messages or emails in reply email UI action. Not sure what that is, but we'll take a look. Service mapping, ITOM, nope. Simplify chat flow by skipping chat initial screen. Under instance help? Make sure you put this in the right space. Instant help is when your personal developer instance is in need of help, like you can't log in or it's not responding. Interactive filters widget. Ask the Expert Performance Analytics episode 26. Oh, I posted that yesterday. Looky there. And I need to add a link from that to this page. I realized this morning that this didn't have a link. So I will fix that right after we're done here. Oh, the other thing I wanted to check real quick. Pardon me. It worked. It worked. For whatever reason, when I participate in live coding happy hour, YouTube would send a push alert to my phone, and it would say, ServiceNow developer community or developer program is now broadcasting live coding happy hour. And I said, that's great. I know right away when it gets broadcasted. I don't know why, but the NOWCommunity ones are not going to my phone. Even though I'm subscribed and I've got notifications turned on, can't figure it out. I've looked through the YouTube settings. I've looked through my phone settings. I don't know what's going on. So I said, I'm going to use IFTT as a hack workaround. So I know I get an email when this broadcast starts. So I set a Gmail filter rule to apply a label, and then I used an IFTTT applet to say, when I receive an email with that label, send out a tweet. I got the tweet. It's working exactly like I wanted. The picture's there. The link, oh boy, let's see. I didn't test the link. The link is not working. Okay, so I'll have to fix that. I used the first attachment URL since clicking on the picture worked. We'll have to look into that applet a little more, fix that up. Apologize for you, those of you who are using that. Maybe I should delete that tweet. Let's find out. Can I do that? Not from this interface. All right, I'll look at that later. Apologies. Okay, back on track. You never know what you're going to get with this show. What is the relationship between portfolio and assignment group? Can assignment groups be considered subordinates of the portfolio and the portfolio manager? Assignment group is just a group of people that you can assign to. Changes in audit table in Jakarta. Not that I'm aware, but I'll be redirect to UI page by evaluating logged in user using on-click button. Sorry, I got something in my eye now. That's not good. It's hard to read the questions when you can't see the questions. Let's go back to unanswered. Configuration required for authentication in AD. Hi, I want that user authentication from AD. What are the requirements for the same? Turn on LDAP? Let's see what happens. Go over to Docs. Active Directory Authentication. Application mode, activity pack. I think you just do that with LDAP. LDAP integration, LDAP authentication. There we go. That's the one. That's the one. Hi, so Rob. Invite you to take a look at this page. I think that was one of the first things I did as a system administrator almost 10 years ago. Time flies when you're having fun. I love it when you're about to click on something and the page refreshes or adjusts right as you're about to click and you click the wrong thing. Happens all the time. Okay, this was the question about from yesterday. Someone was trying to go to design form and getting a blank page. And I said, well, do form layout, does that work? And they said, yes. I said, oh, does it work for anyone else or is it just for you? He says, it's just happening for me. And that is interesting. Okay, have you tried a different browser? Have you checked the error logs? Standard stuff. Things you should check. Shane Kosover says, include attachments from approval email replies. Says, I've noticed that when someone replies, that's a 3-month-old question. And Shane says, on the flip side, is there a way to include the attachments from the request item in the original approval email that is being sent out? Philosophically, I have a hard time with this question because I don't endorse sending email with attachments because it could get your mail blocked. If the attachment is, say, 50 megabytes and your email system has a limit of 20 megabytes, you're never going to get the approval. However, that being said, let's see. Hi, Shane. I have a philosophical issue answering this. If someone has a 50 megabyte attachment and your mail server denies attachments greater than, say, 10 megabytes, nobody will get the approval message. Hence, a link is a better idea. That being said, there is, on the community, I'm just going to go to the default page, the first thing that comes up in my browser history, which happens to be this, I don't know why. Robert posted a message a couple of months ago, let's see if I can find it real quick, about attachments, outbound notifications. Oops, let's see if we can spell notifications correctly, or this thing is smart enough to get it. There's a blog entry. No, didn't get it. Outbound email. My phone is out there buzzing. Sending physical attachments with outbound mail. Give me 10 seconds to stop that. Done and done. Apologies for that. This is the article that Robert has written. It's a wonderful piece of information, and I am going to link directly to that. Horrible mistake on my part for leaving my watch unattended with an alarm. So this was in my inbox, yes. Let's give him a reference in case he's got any questions. Robert. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? There he is. Done and done. Check the new messages for anything new. Meeting invite. Glide LDAP is not allowed in scoped applications. I hate it when that happens. I see the meeting invite logs in the activity log like this. This makes no sense. Can we somehow not show this in the activity log like specific notifications? We can say, don't audit. That's a very good question. I hadn't noticed email invites getting into the activity log. I am going to follow that to see what becomes of it. That way I'll get notified in my inbox when people respond. Glide LDAP. I'm using Glide LDAP in a business rule of a scoped application. Is there any way to make it work? I cannot change the application scope to global since it is a security application. Any workaround to make it work? Not that I know. Have you checked with support to see if there is a scoped version? Possibly with a new name. I may not know the answer, but I'll try and get you one. Okay, back to the inbox. Let's see what we've got. It is 6:35. Welcome. If you're joining, thank you for watching. We'll get you the right alerts. We'll get you the right notifications. Robert has been flagged. Okay. Dave Slusher responded. We got this question about Tech Now, episode 29, Service Portal. We did this one quite a while ago. August 17th, 2016. And we had a question at the bottom that said, the widget webcast was never shared. Dave said, yeah, it was. It has been shared since the episode. There are 2 branches. He says, here's a GitHub link. Thank you, Dave. I marked that as a like. Very helpful for those looking for the code. Michael Ritchie has mentioned me yesterday. Must have been shortly after I signed off. Hi, community. What is the best solution for setting up incremental email notifications survey instances based on due date? So send out a reminder 7 days before the due date. Michael mentioned a solution that I had created called scriptless scheduled jobs. I'm going to open that up real quick just to show you. For cases where you have find records and modify records, or find records and send a notification, the very common thing, especially when it comes to approval reminders, SLA reminders, incident about to be closed, that one's already taken care of, but you get the idea. Knowledge articles about to expire. Very, very common thing about get a set of records and act on that. The only solution we have is scheduled jobs, which requires scripting. And an example of what that script might look like is down here at the bottom, where they have a function called about to expire, and you do a glide record lookup, you send it a query, and then you make an update on those records. Over and over and over again, but this is subject to error. I created one that allows you to do it without any script. I should have put some screenshots in here. Would have been a whole lot more effective, but the scheduled job now looks something like this, where you've got, apologize if that's a little small, but click through to see the video, and you can add a condition builder, just like scriptless business rules. Add a condition builder and then set fields. It's really using just 2 built-in functionalities from ServiceNow, the condition field and the template value field, I think that's what it's called, to set the values on that. And I take care of the logic on the back end with scripting. If you check advanced, it will take whatever you built in the conditions and the set values and start the script for you. So you say, hey, this isn't doing exactly what I need. I want to write the script myself. It gives you a head start. But once you modify that, it's not going to go back and try and retrofit it into the condition. So take a look at that if you've got a similar use case. I will point out that when I built this in late 2016, I was being told that this functionality will be built in, some of it will be built into the platform. As of Kingston, we have Flow Designer, and Flow Designer's approvals have a built-in action you can take based on due date or approval or reminder, or what would you like to do after 3 days, or what would you like to do after. Flow Designer has that piece built in for approvals. Haven't seen it for SLAs or knowledge base articles or any other things. But take a look. This may still be very useful to you even if you are on Kingston. Again, if there's a scriptless option, take it. Do configuration before customization every time. Easier to build, easier to test, easier to maintain. And who knows, in 2 years, you may look at yourself and go, what was I thinking when I wrote this script? Obviously, your scripting capabilities will be getting better, but sometimes I look at code and I think I was either a genius or drunk when I wrote this, because I can't make sense of it today. Comments, people, comments. Put comments in your code. Your future self will thank you. Your replacement employees will thank you. It's just a good thing. I probably haven't done enough of it over my career, so yes, I'm being a bit hypocritical here. Embedded lists in ServiceNow applications. I like embedded lists. Let's see what they have to say about them. I created a ServiceNow application that uses an embedded list. Good for you. James. I had to glance up and see who wrote this. Unfortunately, the UI of the embedded list is not intuitive to end users. For example, to insert a row or field, the embedded list user would need to double-click onto a new row and then double-click onto the field they wish to edit. Is there a way to change the settings so that double-clicking would not be needed? Ideally, it would be nice if double-clicking, just insert a new row by clicking, I thought. Nice if the new row would always be available with the fields within that row would always be editable without the need to double click. Any help or guidance that you can provide, please see screenshot. Not that I know, it's not configurable that way out of the box. Hey, I wonder if I still have that Evernote thing in the buffer. Probably not. No, because I copied the link from another page. Darn. All right, let's go over here and see if I can pull that back up real quick. I also recommend an enhancement request would be most useful here. Where are you? In the inbox? I did it again. Evernote doesn't always come up where I left off. That's a bit disappointing. Copy. Paste. Oops, not twice. Seems like once I give an answer, the answer comes up a lot in the same day. Okay. Okay, let's not put that in there. Let's take that statement out. It's not exactly the same as what I had yesterday. Hi, James. Just a couple notes. You might want to help. I don't know if that's a requirement. He's probably just asking for the sake of asking. This is not available in the box. There's no way to configure this. You can also put in a bullet here that says, invite you to open an enhancement request. Try that again. Alignment issue. A whole bunch of stuff at once. This, I don't even know if it can be. Here, if it can be done. It requires custom code, meaning someone needs to build it. Also, important. Customization may violate best practices and puts you at risk of future upgrades. Do take out this part of the risk. It's not a couple of notes, a couple is two. A few notes. Few is a lot more vague. Start with that. And multiple tasks are getting updated in the workflow. Sometimes multiple duplicate tasks are getting generated in change workflow. Is this due to the generate activity? I have never used the generate activity. Generate task and approval. And yet there's a create task right after it. It might be. Let's go take a look. I'm curious. See what happens when you don't use your developer instance for 30 minutes? It signs you out. Workflow editor. I don't know if I'm in a scoped app or not. It probably doesn't matter. Do I have anything checked out? My sample workflow from yesterday. I still haven't gotten to that formula field message. Let's take a generate. And we could probably look at the docs for that also. Generate activity. Sounds very generic, like generate workflow activity. There it is. Generate activity immediately creates task or approval records from any task or approval activities placed after the generate activity in the workflow path. These are pre-generated tasks, and approval starts when the task and approval activities are reached during the flow execution. Okay, that explains why there's a create task right after it. This allows a task to have a set of associated pre-generated sequential tasks for approval, but still require them to be completed in order. Interesting. I think I understand the use case for this. You want to line them up and say these are the approvals that will happen, but they don't actually get activated until they hit that point in the workflow. Excuse me. All right, I'm going to close that window so I can still see if anybody else is new in the YouTube. Thank you for joining. We do put this out on YouTube. Did anybody get a push notification on their mobile device or browser when the stream went live, or are you all basing this off of an email notification? That's what I want to know today. I don't know how you got notified, or I think somebody has their alarm set that just says community live stream is about to go live. Sometimes multiple duplicate tasks. So there's the create task. Let's blow that up so we can see it a little bit better. There's a generate here. Then it goes to set values and create task. Set state to planning. Plan change implemented. Set values. Approval coordinator. So it lines all these things up. I don't know how it does this look ahead thing. Again, I don't have a whole lot of experience with that, but I am interested in learning more. Let's see if somebody contributes to that. So I'm going to follow. A little handy trick about the community. If you don't know the answer but want to know the answer, if somebody does answer it, follow it. Okay, did anybody respond to this yet? How to include system-generated messages or emails in reply email UI action. Hello, everyone. One of the case record form view, we have a UI action reply email under the related lists. Under the related lists. Customer initially requested all of the journal entries to be included when he clicks the reply email. So I have written a mail script which adds additional comments and work notes in the reply email, which is working fine. However, now the customer came back asking to include system-generated messages / emails within that reply email too. I have two thoughts. One is to query the email table and get the current case emails. The other one is to add emails to additional comments. Please, can you advise me? I'm not exactly clear on what is happening and what they want to happen. Can you provide screenshots of what is currently happening and what you would like to happen? I'm not entirely sure of the details of the question / issue. Keep in mind, sometimes the answer is no. When you get a requirement and you understand, man, this is going to take a lot of effort. If the customer just wants to know something, sometimes the developer interprets it as I have to do this. They'll say, hey, can we make it do this? That's not a message that says we must make it do this. And just because you can do something doesn't mean you must do something. As I noted before, if the cost of implementation outweighs, if the value of the requirement outweighs the risks and costs of the implementation, then you go forward and let them know with all caveats. Changes in audit table. Hey, all due to various inconsistencies in process changes over the last several years, I've developed a tool set of scripts that reconstructs various things using the sys audit table. That's always worked great in the past because I've been careful to make sure I perform all queries against the sys audit table using indexed fields, particularly the document key field. We recently, 2 weeks ago, upgraded our production instance to Jakarta, and today I'm noticing some oddness in my scripts. Sounds like it wasn't tested in the subprod instances, but I'm not going to cast aspersions. There They aren't pulling the full auditing history of records. Just as a simple example, using the web UI, I'm looking at the audit history of a particular incident. It's showing 53 audit events going through the normal history set UI view. History list. What was that? Oh. Oh, sure. I say that it didn't come up with an alert. And sure enough, on my phone, there's the community alert message. When did that start happening? It wasn't there yesterday. Now I have to figure out something else. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked. 53 audit entries. When I query the sys audit table with the document key of that incident, I'm looking at 13 events. It may be coming from sys history. So my question is, has anyone else experienced this issue? And more importantly, if something has changed, if you looked at the audit table, where are they going? I'm trying to figure out where they're going. I'm looking at the audit history of a particular incident, showing 53 audit events going through the normal history set UI view, history list. More importantly, if someone has changed such that the sys audit table doesn't accurately reflect all the changes of the record, by what means can we programmatically access the audit history of records? I don't recommend this at all. A lot of the history of what's changed is in the sys history and sys history line tables, but those tables aren't, they're like dynamically generated, so you're not going to always get accurate answers out of that either. Okay, back to the inbox. Robert mentioned me here. This was the mention I gave of his article. Thanks for the shout out. Really good point I neglect to consider in my blog. Back before consulting days, I held the dubious honor of having the largest size ServiceNow instance for a short while. 99.9% of the size was due to attachments. At the time, we had a catalog item to do financial reconciliations for each of our 400 locations. Every day an Excel sheet was attached to the daily scheduled tasks, but somehow the offshore teams were saving the XLS files in a way that made Excel think every single cell was filled. So we were attaching the theoretical maximum Excel file size 400 times a day, every single day. Anybody recognize the picture? Anyone? It's from Psycho. Oh boy. Styling custom text area form on the field. This is where she wanted to do that, and I put in the text. Was Karen the original? No, Rhiannon. We are aware and accept the costs and risks. Thank you for your response. To make it clear, I provided a screenshot below to give context. We have a field that gets populated with important company information. Sometimes this field has up to 5,000 characters worth of text. This then makes that field far too large on the form. We are going to set a max height, forcing the end user to then scroll to further information. Okay. We are looking to set a max height, forcing the end user to then scroll. Is this a standard text field? Rhiannon was the original requester on this. Maybe they work for the same company. They accept the responsibility today, but what about in 2 or 3 years? Hey, this doesn't work anymore. Okay, thanks for the response, Karen. Is this a standard big text field on a standard form? I'm not able to grasp the context. What the screenshot is showing. Oops, that's not a question, that's a statement. Is Service Portal involved here somewhere? Coming up to the top of the hour, let's see what else we can get through on the inbox. Quick check for any new messages that we might be able to engage in. Thank you for joining us again. Conditional mandatory field. Conditional mandatory sounds like a UI policy to me, but let's find out what the requirement is if it's listed. Don't forget, always list your business requirements. I have a requirement where reason becomes mandatory if the difference between start time and end time is less than 4 hours. Has anyone done this before? And suggestions are greatly appreciated. My suggestion is 2 client scripts, 2 on-change client scripts, and script include that calculates the difference. Client scripts will send the new values of start and end to the script include via glide Ajax difference. There. Send it via glide Ajax. And if the difference comes out, what did they say? Greater than something? 4 hours. Less than 4 hours. You set the reason field mandatory. This ought to help. Docs, docs, and more docs. Don't ask me why the font changes. I didn't do it. I don't like doing time calculations in client scripts because the format of the time may be different. I like sending that information to the server and let it do the job. Okay. Issue with making field mandatory in service portal. Oh, this was the environment thing. We do not have any widgets that is built for this. Right now, the label mandatory is used done through UI policies only. Okay. See above message. Known error. Glide LDAP. Let's check out the Glide LDAP one. Srini says, Glide LDAP is not available. Nope, I don't have the support site access. Interesting. Someone in your organization should. Does anyone in your organization have access to customer support? I really need to pick a better hotkey than the @ sign. I always think I'm starting to mention somebody. Need to add a path as hyperlink to work? No notification. Let's, Andrew asked this, and I said you could use that. Yes, it's supposed to be /. Sorry about that. It worked fine. I could get the hyperlink in my email, but after I received the email and when I click the link, it is not taking me to the share. Any idea what could be the reason? Yes, backslashes are special characters. Are you escaping the backslashes? Backslashes are special characters. For example, /T is a tab. To make it understand that it's a backslash character, you need a boom. For example, your path would be 2, 3, 4, some server, / some path, some file. Backslashes are also affectionately called whack. So when somebody says, that's whack. Does anybody say that anymore? We used to. maybe 20 years ago. But it's not uncommon to use nerd speak when you're doing characters. Exclamation points are often called bang. Asterisks are called splat, because it looks like something got splatted, like a bug on a windshield. Backslashes are whacks. Is there a way to report who is reporting incidents on my service desk? I said, you might want to think about making your own table and business rule to keep that up to date. And NTD13 says, I recently saw the Touchpoints app on Share that seems to do what you're looking for. Interesting. I want to take a look at that. You are now leaving the community. Feels like I have to exit through the gift shop. That would be funny if you made a logout screen. Just a sick and twisted thing that I thought of just now. When you log out of an application, it says, please exit through the gift shop. Okay, ServiceNow Share. This, if you're not familiar with Share, Share is a separate site of user-contributed solutions. Could be a simple script. It could be a complete application. I've contributed a number of things to Share, and you can download them. They're typically in update sets. They will tell you what version they are available for. Be careful. You may have something that is only available for Calgary and Dublin. Okay, keep that in mind. Looks like we have some sort of string length limit on this one. Our service desk needed a way to track the number of tickets that each analyst was working on each day. I was approached by the service desk manager to see if there was a way ServiceNow could do this. I created the Touchpoints application, which measures when an analyst works on a ticket, i.e. adds and work note changes. Very cool. I like it. I'm going to mark that as helpful. Helpful, yes. One last look on this list before I sign off for the day. Nothing there. One last look through the mailbox. Karen has some notation here to put this in a better context. No, this is a field that is on the incident form. When the company is selected, it pulls their information from a similar named field and displays the information here. This information is internal only and will not be displayed on any service portal. Okay, so it's a normal text field. I'm still not understanding what the specific issue is. We have a text area field we've set up on our incident form, and I am trying to apply height and overflow X scroll styles. I tried using configures. Seems these styles are working as applied, but they are being overwritten by other default style behaviors. What's the workaround? There's always an assumed workaround, isn't there? I don't have an answer for that. I don't have an answer for this at the moment. If nobody else responds, reach out to support. This again is one of those things that is much easier to understand when you can see and touch. Okay, how to remove work note background color in notifications. He said he was using the comments and work notes field, and I have never used that one. This came up a couple of days ago. I think this was on Wednesday, and I responded back yesterday. It says, I personally never used this field. And he said, thanks, your answer pushed me in a specific direction that forced me to think about it a little differently. I was trying to find a solution to include work notes if changed and or included comments if changed. But while maintaining the formatting of work notes, 100% agree that people will overlook the side note, but the color will not. Anyway, I simply broke the print line into two. Interestingly enough, I noticed in here in his script, he's got a GS get message. And comments and work notes are not translatable fields. So this really shouldn't be necessary. What I'm going to recommend is a shorter, simpler version of this. I will be covering GS get message on a as a quick tip on a future Tech Now. Hi, Aaron. Nice work. I don't think you need to use gs.getMessage, as there are no keys in the sysui message table to do language translation on those. It's just an extra lookup that does nothing for you. Here's a simpler version. Okay, take that, get rid of that. Oh, I see why he's doing it. So he gets a string back. Could you do that in template.print? I would almost do it like this. Current is known. I generally don't use the meta characters in scripts. Oh, get journal entry. It's current.com instead of get journal entry. And current.worknotes.get journal entry. Delete, copy, paste. Oh, I'm really glad they got this fixed. I can copy and paste again in the community without fear that my browser is going to run to someplace else on the screen. See what happens there. Okie doke, it is getting time to sign out. So with that, I will bid you one fond farewell. Make the headshot a little bigger. So take care. Thank you for joining me. Have a great weekend. And with any luck, I will see you Monday. So go out, have some fun, be good. Share what you've learned. You've learned something today, I'm sure. Be sure to share it with one of your coworkers. Take care.